What up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and this video is going to be a bit different as well. It's more so a public safety announcement slash story slash rant opinion maybe, but basically here's where it's going to start anyway. Last week, excuse me, last week there was an 11-year-old kid who had 2 of his 3 Destiny characters deleted. Now, how that happened was he gave share play access to an internet friend of a real life friend. Now, according to the story, he knew the person a little bit. He had played with them before a few times and he seemed to have no reason to doubt them. This person told the kid, who was 11 years old, that he knew of a glitch to boost your Destiny characters past level 20, not in light but actual physical level. So he had 3 characters anyway. The highest one was 31. I think the others were 23 and 26. But that was, so he's lost a lot basically. But what happened anyway, he was streaming on Twitch. He gave share play access to the other person. The other person straight away logged out of their in-game Destiny session, deleted the first character, deleted his level 31 character, then deleted his next highest level character, then instantly went into his 3rd level character, or his lowest level character. And he was brought up the weapons menu and all that. Apparently he was going to start either salvaging or dismantling. I can't even remember, it's been a while since I've played Destiny. Getting rid of his weapons or dropping them or whatever he was going to do. But before he got a chance to do this on the 3rd character, excuse me again, the 11-year-old realized what was going on and quickly hit the power button. Now this has all been streamed over Twitch anyway, but once he logged back in, he saw what had happened. His characters were gone. He started crying. His mother came in or something like that, saw him crying. People on Twitch saw him crying. That's not the issue here. It's going to start being an issue and then into a rant, so I'm going to try break it up into as much pieces as possible. Some people are arguing the kid shouldn't be playing Destiny at all. No, because he was 11 years old and I think Destiny was rated for 16s plus. My copy isn't anywhere accessible to me at the moment. But, so, some people argue that. Now, some people blame the parents, some people some people blame him for giving access to someone like this to his character, but he's 11 years old, so on his side of it, he didn't really know what he was doing. He didn't really realize what the internet and the people on it are, like we all do, because we're older and, well, we've seen some things, man. But yeah, you get the idea. So some people are bashing the mother. I haven't seen anything say they were bashing the parents specifically. Everything I read only seemed to bash the mother. Now, this is where the rant slash public safety announcement part of it comes in. I'm going to go with rant more than anything, but the reason is parents are still under the assumption that video games are toys. They're just toys for kids. Despite some of this being extremely adult content, now not in Destiny's case, but in other games being extreme adult content. LA Noire, rated 18s, Grand Theft Auto for rated 18s for obvious reasons. We have other games, Call of Duty, they're all high rated games. Teen in America, I believe, some are rated mature. We have a different system here, it's just age based, it gives a straight up number. So some people are arguing that, which I kind of agree with in some ways and I kind of don't, that it's the parents' fault. Now, it's not really the parents' fault that he gave access to someone else and they did that, and in a way, because maybe they should have been supervising him or seeing what he was doing, especially because he was online dealing with other people as an 11-year-old kid. It's back to the parenting thing. I do consider people that buy young kids extremely graphic games. Now I'll go into that in a second. When I say extremely graphic games, I will go into what I mean. When they buy them games that are extremely graphic and rated way beyond their kid's age and just leave them alone to play with it without doing any research or anything like that beforehand, maybe just to shut the kid up, or the kid wants it, or it's a present or something like that, I do think that's wrong. Now, this is coming from someone, I'm 28, I grew up reading, watching and playing fucking anything I wanted. You know, I remember being 8, 10, 12 years old watching Terminator 2, my favourite film. Obviously that's an extremely graphic film. It's rated 18s. And, you know, there was no problems. Now, you could call my mother a bad parent, but that's not the issue. Yeah, so I watched and played so many things with all sorts of questionable content when I was younger. So that's it's not about me. But the fact that other parents will do that, and because they consider them just toys, and then when fucking little Timmy comes around and, I don't know, says he's going to fucking cave someone's head in like a fucking watermelon, and the parents go, oh, well, we'll blame Grand Theft Auto, we'll blame something else. It's like, it's your own fault. Your kid shouldn't have had the game unless you consented to buy it for him in the first place, in which you should have done some fucking research. I'll give you 2 good examples of how... Oh yeah, before I go into the examples, when I say graphic content, I mean stuff like extremely adult themes. If you're playing Call of Duty, you shoot someone, they die, there's blood, there's, you know, some a little bit of graphic animation. I personally wouldn't consider that too bad. I don't have any kids, but if I did, I wouldn't really have a problem with them playing something like Call of Duty or anything along those lines. Destiny as well, content wise for Destiny anyway, not including the whole online interaction thing. That's a whole different ballgame. But the actual content of, say, Destiny or Call of Duty or maybe Battlefield or, you know, what other couple of games like that, games I would take an exception with them playing. And I would be the uncool parent in this aspect of it anyway. And no, I wouldn't let my kid play something like Grand Theft Auto or LA Noire, because, you know, LA Noire, you've got naked, dead, raped victims. You've Grand Theft Auto, you've got all sorts of shit like this. It's ridiculous. But I'll go into 2 examples anyway. The first one being something that happened to me, maybe, I don't remember exactly, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, when whatever time Persona 3 Portable on the PSP released in Europe. That's when it happened. It was a few days after that. So what happened anyway was, in Persona 3 Portable, to summon your persona, which is your... I don't even know how to explain it really easy. To summon your apparition, if you will, your persona, to help you fight in a battle, you put a gun to your head and pull the trigger, because they appear when you're in mortal danger. So doing that obviously creates mortal danger. They appear to help, blah blah blah. Now, you put a gun to your head. Yeah, okay, that's a fairly relatively adult theme. Now, I have my copy of Persona 3 Portable right here. That's me tapping on it. This game is rated 12s. 12s in Europe. So according to the ratings board and all that, it's suitable, and the content in the game is suitable for people of 12 years old and above. Now, here's where what happened. A woman rang in to a radio show to complain about the content of this game, to say, oh well, you know, he's putting a gun to his head, this shouldn't be in the game, blah blah blah. Her 8-year-old was playing this game and saw this, and she saw him playing it and she freaked out. Now, I called in to be pissed off, because this parents being bad parents shouldn't have any effect on our hobby. So I call in. Her kid is 8-year-old, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but I called in and I basically ripped her a new one, called her a bad parent, asked her if she had looked at the content in the game, to ask if she thought it was suitable, if a 12s plus game was suitable, if she thought it was suitable for her 8-year-old child. Her example, her responses were brilliant. They were just like, oh, it's a game, it's a toy, I shouldn't need to. I was like, it's not a fucking toy. You know, these are fucking like, people, these parents and all this kind of shit. They're okay with their child going to see an 18s rated film, or renting them an 18s rated film, downloading them an 18s rated film, whatever the fuck. But as soon as it comes to games, something that they're supposed to pay attention to, they're supposed to screen for their kids based on the content in the game. It takes fucking 5 minutes to do research on a game, you know, to see if it's suitable for your child or anything. But no, they don't. They just flip out, and I'm fucking sick of it. It's one of the things, it's possibly the most annoying thing when something happens and people instantly point to games like, well, this guy killed himself, he played Call of Duty, games kill people. It's like, no, fuck off, they don't. So, that's example one. Now, example two, this is brilliant. This happened, I won't say it happened to me, but it happened to my cousin. I heard about it, but it happened to my cousin, who is now 12 years old. So when this happened, he was probably 10 or 11. So he wanted to watch. There was anyway. It's finished now, but there was a really popular Irish TV show. It was a gangland crime TV show playing for a couple of years on TV here, called Love Hate. Now, I haven't seen it myself. It's supposed to be really good, but you know, it's fairly adult rated. There's people, you know, shooting up drugs and people killing each other, raping each other, all this kind of shit. So he wanted to watch this. So he asks his mother, my auntie, can he watch this? And she says no, because, you know, as she should, because of the content that's in it. She says no. And he asks why. And she says, she just told him that, I don't remember the exact example, but it was like, no, there's stuff for grown-ups in that. And he goes, what, like prostitutes? And she looks at him, and she's gobsmacked that he knows that. And she asks him, how do you know what they are? And his answer, this kid who is 10, maybe 11 years old, because I don't remember exactly when this happened or when his birthday is. Jesus, I'm such a bad relative. But he says, because of Grand Theft Auto. That's right, his parents, I knew this, but I knew his parents bought him Grand Theft Auto 5, and they bought him previous games like Grand Theft Auto 4 and LA Noire, and obviously when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, he was even younger. So, you know, they had games like that, but in this case, we were talking about Grand Theft Auto, they were talking about Grand Theft Auto 5. So, Grand Theft Auto 5, and she asked him, you know, well, what happens in that? He goes, oh, you picked him up in the car, and it bounces up and down. That was his answer. She was mortified. I guarantee you she's going to buy him Grand Theft Auto 6. Or anything similar to that. I can guarantee you. I've given her loads for this. I've just... Because... Jesus Christ is all I can say. Parents... It's not just a fucking toy. It's the equivalent of, say, a film. Maybe even more, because depending on the game and depending on what you do, you have maybe more interactive or direct control. I'm not saying fucking lock them down from every game. Use good judgment and use common sense. If your 10-year-old wants a game that's highly praised for its... Now, I'm not going to debate morals here, but I'm just going to use it as an example. If a morally questionable game to some people, or what is critically acclaimed as a morally objective game, in the case of Grand Theft Auto, if your 10-year-old wants Grand Theft Auto, do some research. 5 minutes. You know, it takes 5 minutes to go online, Google something, to see if it's not only suitable for the kid, which a board of, quote, professionals, unquote, have said that it isn't, but to see if you personally think the content in the game is suitable for your underage kid. It's that simple. Because that way we're going to have less people bitching, moaning, complaining. There's going to be less things like, this kid played Call of Duty, he kills people, he's going to grow up to be a psychopath. There's less of that shit, because I'm sick of it. I mean, it's not our fault that you're a bad parent. That's it. I said it. It's bad parenting. Bad parenting. There you go. So, do your fucking job. You know, you created this child. Take fucking care of him. people think that, oh well, I said it. I don't know how many times I said it in this video. It's a toy. It's a game. It's a toy. No, it's not a fucking toy. What makes it different from a film? What makes it different from something else that someone has age gated? Be it, I don't know, alcohol, prescription drugs, driving, smoking, things like that. Those things have age restrictions on them based on the average maturity and mental and emotional functionality of regular people, because that way it's based around, oh well, this person can most likely handle this kind of thing. It obviously varies on a case-to-case basis, but we're talking the averages here, so we're going with that. So I told you it was going to be a public service announcement / rant at the start of the video, so yeah, make of that what it is. It's just, please people, I'm fucking sick of this. Do your fucking jobs as parents. You didn't pull out, big deal. Live with the fucking consequences. Don't try blame your bad parenting on other people because you didn't do your fucking responsibility. If people lose kids over this kind of thing, people get them taken away from sending them to this kind of thing. I mean, would you let your underage kid, your 12-year-old drink alcohol? No. Would you let them take some sort of prescription medication for adults? No. Why are games different? People usually even hold movies to higher standards in rating related stuff. Now, I'm not getting onto places like GameStop or cinemas or rental agencies or anything like that, because I've seen it god too many times. So in a good way, kids go into my GameStop trying to buy Grand Theft Auto, trying to buy LA Noire, trying to buy Call of Duty, anything like that. They will not sell it to them unless there is a guardian, someone with them, above the age on the game, and they ask them and they say yes, they consent to buying this for their child. I remember Gears of War 3. When I queued up for Gears of War 3, it was a midnight launch, and there was a kid, an Eastern European kid, a couple of people ahead of me in the queue. And this kid was, I don't know, he was maybe 8, maybe 10. He was fairly small and looked fairly young. But his father was there, and his father kept asking, it's like, because his father, there was a club upstairs, and they were having a dance or a party or something like that, and his father was originally up there, and he came down to help the kid buy the game. And what happened was, he was there about 20 minutes early, and he kept saying to the GameStop staff, it's like, well, you can sell my son this game, I just want to go back upstairs, blah blah blah, and his mother will take him home. I think his mother was out in the car or something like that, but she wasn't in there. And they wouldn't sell him the game, which is good, because at the time of sale, to finish the sale, the consenting adult has to be there. So yeah, that's good. But I mean, he cared so little about this. Now, Gears of War 3 isn't a massively graphically contented game. It has lots of blood and gore in it, yeah, but it doesn't have anything that I would personally consider questionably graphic. No drug rape dead bodies or GTA style stuff. But he just wanted to get his kid, who was roughly about 10 years under the limit of this game. I think it was 10 years. I think Gears of War 3 is rated 18s. I can't remember. But he just wanted to shut him up as a toy, and so he could get back to partying and clubbing and all this kind of thing. Now, he can do what he wants at the end of the day, but if he was to complain and he wants to blame this, now as far as I know he never did, but if he ever does try blaming on this, on his kid doing something weird on games, it's his fault. It's his fault, that's it. And it goes on too much. I'm starting to sound like a broken record here at this point, but I'm just going to end it at this, actually. We'll just leave it there. So, please, parents, people who watch this video who have kids, who have relatives or good friends with kids that want all these games, just either point them in the direction of this video or give them some solid advice, be it telling them about the content of a specific game. It's like, oh well, your kid, is he getting Grand Theft Auto? It's like, yeah, well, you know, this and this and this is in it, and you know, if you want to buy it after that, fair enough, that's your own prerogative. But just a bit of knowledge goes a long way, people. Tell them what's in the game. Tell them to do a few minutes of research because of, well, you know, this kind of stuff is in the game. You might want to look at it for yourself before you actually buy it from them. Because it's... oh, I'm sick. I'm sick of it. Fucking sick of it. So, sorry, Henry, the 11-year-old kid who got his Destiny characters deleted. It's unfortunate this happened to you, and it's unfortunate that you had to learn this internet rule by yourself the hard way at such a young age. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So be safe, everyone, with your own information, who you treat with access to your games. You know, parents and guardians and people out there with children or who have the responsibilities to children, again, please do 5 minutes of research, because it's not our fault you're bad parents. That's it. Thank you everyone for watching this long-winded rant, or listen to, whichever. It's been frustrating to say the least. I'm just going to cut it short there, and comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video in my channel.